Hi, Dan. It's Michael.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Doing well.
Hi, Michael and Dan. It's Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Just to let you guys know, you're all on YouTube, so I'll give you a disclosure there.
You might have to. You might have to fill up.
On the way home?
I don't know. It's down low.
Good evening, everyone. Just going to give it a few minutes to allow people to join. I will remind everyone that this will be recorded and it is streaming live on YouTube. For those of you just joining, I'm just going to give it a few minutes to give folks a chance to join. It's still a little bit before 5:30. Once I see that everyone's on or appears to be, we'll get started. Okay, well, I have 5:30 on my watch. There might be a few folks that trickle in. Before we get started, I'm just gonna, again, go over a couple quick housekeeping rules. I think you all know the drill by this point, but if you could please state your name when you are commenting or if you make a motion. And I would like to ask everyone to keep their microphones muted just to cut down on the background noise if you aren't speaking. Also, if Mr. Chair, if you wouldn't mind repeating the motion made, it just, saying who made the motion and who seconded, that would help, I think, with the recording of the minutes.
I'll do my
And
best.
thank you, Vince. I really appreciate that. And I'm here too to remind, we'll probably have to remind each other.
Yes.
And again, this meeting is being recorded and it is being broadcast live on our YouTube channel. So with that, I'm going to go through the roster. Actually, Vince, do you want to call the meeting to order and just note the date and time, and then I'll go do the roll call?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. This is Vince Harris. We'll call the meeting to order at 5:31 on September 2nd, 2020.
Excellent, thank you. And I will go pull up the roster here. Okay, just please acknowledge if you're here. Sig Yarneris.
Here.
Harvey Katz. Like Harvey is not here. Alan Chow.
Here.
Suraj Verma.
Here.
Jillian Keller.
Here.
Paul Malakowski. You here, Paul? I thought I heard a song.
Present.
Thank you.
Got it.
Dora Uel.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Dora.
Okay, thank you.
Vince Harris.
Oh, that was a big one.
Okay. Rudy Leon. Like Rudy is not here yet. Mayuko Majima.
Here.
Jeff Bonanno. I believe Jeff said he could not make it for this meeting. Laura Izam.
Here.
Mike Slazinski.
Here.
Mauricio Arias. Looking like he's not here. And I do want to note for the record, member Scott Munns recently submitted a resignation notice just due to conflicts that he has. So he will not be joining us obviously this evening either. And I believe Harvey just joined, Harvey Katz. See his picture there, but he's muted. So, Mr. Chair, we do have a quorum.
Okay.
Hi,
Now
Harvey.
I'm unmuted. It's Kate's.
Kate, I'm
not
sorry.
Katz.
I did not know that for like the last 4 years. So thank you for correcting me.
Hey, you can find out all kinds of things with these Zoom deals.
Definitely. Okay, and before we move on, I would like to just read off all the participants as well for the record. So if I miss you, please let me know at the end. Jim Gee with RTC, A.T. Stoddard with LSC, Amy Cummings, RTC, David Carr, RTC, Jeff Wilbrick, RTC, Jennifer Myers, RTC, Michael Delude, RTC, I believe that's everyone, and I will also acknowledge we have Brandy Smith on the line from Sunshine Reporting. She's helping us with the minutes tonight. So with that, I think we are good to go. Mr. Chair, if you want to take it away. Thank you. You still with us, Vince? Uh-oh. Looks like we may have lost Vince. Jillian, do you mind taking over until he returns?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.
All right, and this will be my first go, so remind me at any time if I forget anything. So I think we'll start, we called the meeting to order already, so we're on item 1, approval of the agenda. Is there any possible action for the agenda? Can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
This is Sig Rice. I will move to approve the agenda as presented.
This is Dora UL, I second.
Thank you all. So we'll move on to public comment.
Jillian, I'm
Call for it.
sorry. Just a quick reminder, just to repeat who motioned it and seconded. would
Repeat
be
the names.
helpful.
Okay.
And then
Thank
call
you.
for the vote.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta do that.
Thank you.
Gotta
Look
do
at
that.
this teamwork. All right, great. So, and names, pronunciation, you can interrupt me as well. And then we'll have a 2-hour meeting because everyone wants that.
Or less.
Yeah, well, we'll try. So Sig Juan,
Yana Rice.
Sig Yana Rice, motion to approve the agenda, and Dora Urel seconded. And can we hear, what is it? What do we say here? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? The motion carries. All right. Now moving on to public comment. Is there any public comment?
There is. We received some public comments via email. So I'm going to read that into the record. It's a little lengthy, so bear with me, but this was submitted by Mr. Richard Greffreth. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name right, but he said, as a retired UNR faculty member who has been a bicycle commuter for 42 years, I would like to express my strong opposition to the abandonment of Ralston Street between West 3rd Street and West 4th Street as proposed by Jacobs Entertainment. And then he references the RGJ article, Sands Seeks Ralston Street Abandonment on 6/9/2020. The painted bicycle lanes on Ralston Street between Riverside Drive and University Terrace are a major artery for bicyclists in Southwest Reno, and in my observation are well used. Excuse me. Additionally, these painted bicycle lanes are designated as a dedicated existing bike lane by the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County, see RTC Reno Sparks bike map, and are a key component in Southwest Reno's bicycling infrastructure, inasmuch as the south end of Ralston Street connects to the Riverside Drive Bicycle Boulevard, which is the major bicycling gateway to Southwest Reno, west of Keystone Avenue. Accordingly, I urge the rejection of Jacobs Entertainment's proposal. Reno is a bicycle-friendly city, according to the City of Reno's Reno Resilience, City of Reno's Sustainability and Climate Action Plan. In my view, Reno has made huge strides in recent years toward establishing bicycling as both a mode of transportation and a recreational pursuit. The Jacobs Entertainment proposal would be an extremely ill-advised major step backwards from these achievements and for the bicycling community who bicycle in this quadrant of Reno. Thanks very much for your patience in reading this long-winded message.
Okay, great. And that's the only public comment.
That is the only public comment. And I'd also like to note, looks like Vince Harris is back with us, and Rudy Leon joined at 5:40 p.m.
Daniel,
Yes.
is there a way that you can pass those comments on to the people that are actually going to determine the abandonment of that part of Ralston Street? So it gets to where it should be heard?
Absolutely. I can forward that to the city of Reno. I believe they might have received the same comments, but I will verify that and make sure they get them.
And I have a question about that, which is, I understand what an abandonment is, and that this fellow is developing a lot of property in that area, you know, which is kind of exciting in a way. But does the abandonment mean that pedestrian and bicycle access would be closed off there too? It would just become private property, period? Or would there be any kind of remnant of movement through that block?
You know, honestly, Harvey, I don't believe I can comment on that. I'm not really sure what the proposed designs are or plans. Also, I don't mean to be just, you know, sticking to the the focus of the meeting. I don't think we can really discuss public comment. But,
All right, sure.
yeah, but certainly if you want to have an offline conversation or shoot me an email, I'm happy to talk with you about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dan, this is Vince. Sorry about that. My Wi-Fi is giving me a little problem this evening. What item
No
are you guys?
worries.
What item are you on?
We just finished public comment, and Jillian did a great job standing in for you there. So we
Thank you,
just,
Jillian.
that was for information only. So I believe we are on item 3 for approval of the meeting minutes for July 1st, 2020.
Okay, approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve? Or should I say, are there any revisions or changes anyone would like to make to the minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
State your name, please.
Harvey Cates, I will move to approve.
Approved by Harvey Cates. Could I get a second?
This is Suraj Verma, second.
Suraj, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes passed. Thank you so much. Moving on to item number 4. Item number 4 is acknowledge receipt of report and provide input on the proposed January 2021 RTC ride service change. This is for possible action. Dan, is there a report from staff?
Yes, I think I'll defer to Jennifer Myers to introduce this item. Unless Jennifer, there's someone else I should be.
No, actually, I'm on the next item. I think Jim is
Oh.
going to, remember, we're out of order.
That's right. My
Okay.
apologies.
It's okay. I don't think Jim would want me to do this, so I will stop talking.
You can
Thank you.
handle it, Jennifer, if you want. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me share my screen here. If I can figure out how to share my screen. There we go. As Dan mentioned, my name is Jim Gee. I'm the manager of service planning and innovation for the RTC. And I'm joined for this presentation by Michael DeLude, who's our senior planner and scheduler, and Jeff Wilbrecht, who's our project manager and has been our lead guy for the Virginia Street project. We have one essential service change planned for January, and that is extending our bus service to match the construction and investment that we've made on the Virginia Street corridor, both in the Midtown section, but also more significantly up to the UNR section. For those who may not know, the Virginia Street route, Virginia Street Rapid, is our best route at RTC. 1 out of 7 passenger trips use the Virginia Street Rapid. And by virtue of this route change and all the construction that of course preceded it, we're able to extend our best transit route up to what may be our best audience in the community, which is the 20,000 or so students, faculty, and staff at the UNR campus. So given that the bus service change is really an offset of the larger and more significant investment in construction activity along the Virginia Street corridor, I've asked our project manager, Jeff Wilbrecht, to give us some details on the Virginia Street construction project. And with that, I will turn it over to you, Jeff.
Sure, thanks, Jim. So yeah, my name is Jeff Wilbrecht. I'm the project manager on the Virginia Street project. And as Jim was saying, this project really came out of a couple needs that were identified at the early planning stages of the project, and that really focused around increasing transit ridership and connectivity. And that's where the extension of the service from its current northern terminus, which is at 4th Street Station, up to the university comes into play. And then also a lot of the work that we've done in the Midtown segment of the project of improving the sidewalk access and then accessibility to our transit services comes from. It gets into the other 2 bullet points there as well of increasing safety and then improving the accessibility of the corridor itself. So if you think about it, we have this highly successful bus service, and buses operate when people can get to the buses, and this project really identified a lack of accessibility in the Midtown area for not only people and pedestrians and individuals to access wherever they were going as a business or a vehicle parking to go somewhere, but also just access to the bus service itself. So if someone got on or off a bus, they wouldn't be able to get to their destination safely. So that's really kind of the start of the project is those purpose and needs. And then Jim, if you want to advance the slide. It turned into scoping the project. And so we have a 1.8 mile extension of the service from, again, the existing rapid service goes up. The furthest north it goes is 4th Street Station, which is in downtown Reno. And we're going to be extending that up to the University of Nevada, Reno. So it's going to go all the way up to just past 15th Street, which is where the Lawler Event Center is. We're including 5 stations in that that university area. So we're going to have a station at the far north at 15th Street area. We're going to have a pair of stations to service the College Drive area, and then another pair of stations to service kind of the southern limit of the campus, which is around 9th Street and 8th Street. The project also includes new buses to provide continued level of service of that transit line, and we currently operate that at about 10-minute headways. So those 2 buses are going to be able to allow us to continue that level of service. And then the project also includes a lot of roadway and sidewalk improvements. That includes 2 new roundabouts, one in the area of the university, which is at that northern limit of our project, and then another one in the Midtown area. And both of those kind of just facilitate vehicular movement and access in and around those areas. The Midtown segment of the project includes about 1.2 miles of complete street construction. So it's a significant investment there. We essentially reconstructed the entire roadway from the edge of right-of-way to the other edge of right-of-way to totally transform the section of Midtown. In the area of the university, we did a lot of roadway reconstructive, preventative maintenance type activities to preserve the life of the pavement in that area. We have much wider sidewalks. We have immense ADA connectivity within segments of the construction zone. Another key element of bus rapid transit is signal priority. And so our buses in the limits of area that were under construction, they're going to be operating with signal priority, which essentially means if the bus is behind schedule, that it will be emitting a low priority frequency, similar to that of a fire truck or a police car that emits a signal to the traffic signal to turn the signal green or red or whatnot to allow the vehicle to travel through the intersection. So transit priority is it's not as impactful as emergency vehicle priority, but essentially what it does is it holds the green light a second or 2 longer, or it'll hold a red light a second or 2 longer to help that bus get back on schedule. So that's a really important component of bus rapid transit, in that we want the buses to be operating on schedule. We want them to be consistent. We want them to be and dependable for the riders. And so, and the last big component of the road project is exclusive bus lanes. In a portion of the Virginia Street, the South Virginia part of the project, we have bus lanes from Mount Rose Street to Plum Lane. And then up near the university, we have bus only lanes that are bus/bike lanes in the southbound direction from about 8th Street all the way up to 15th Street. So we have quite extensive bus only network in that zone. And the other kind of interesting component of this project is that it's heavily federally funded. So our project received a $40 million grant from the Federal Transit Administration to pay for a significant portion of these improvements. And so that's a great thing for our community in that we are using these federal funds for our public benefit and public improvement. And they are a discretionary fund, so we were a competitive project. We applied for them and won that money. So that's a great accomplishment for our community. Here's a couple photos of the stations. The ones on with the green signage, those are the stations that are in Midtown. They are nearly complete. There's just a couple miscellaneous items that are waiting to be installed in them. The one on the upper left of your screen, that's the one at Regency Way. That one actually includes some kind of cool and unique back glass paneling that's going to be illuminated at night. And so if it's Halloween season and we want to turn that kind of an orange tint, it will go orange. Or let's say during Wolfpack season, we want to make it blue, we can make it blue for Wolfpack season. So that's kind of just a unique element of our project. The one in the lower right corner, the lower left corner is a transit station that's currently under construction near the university. And that station kind of includes a university aesthetic with the brickwork there. So it's, that's what the stations look like. They have level boarding. They all are going to have real-time information on the schedule of the bus, of what it's, where it's at and when it's supposed to arrive. So they're really unique structures that provide good service. On the next slide, Jim.
Hi, Jim G. This is Dora. Sorry, the screen is not accessible, so I'm listening very carefully. But did you say that it's going to have like a screen, like in the airport where you go and see what time your airplane's arriving? Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. So it's going to mimic we use token transit, if that's still correct, but it's going to mimic the information that is on our phone app of this, the schedule. And so it's
what
going
I
to be
see here on my phone will be the same as what people see on the screen, correct? It's not going to be delay. Okay, thanks. I just want to make sure.
That's correct. It'll be the same information. It both generates from our next bus system. And
who's this talking? Sorry.
This is Jim.
Okay.
And the information comes out of NextBus and gets pushed to the phones and to the signs, both at the same time.
I have one more question. This is Dora Will. Sorry, you guys, I don't want to be here for 2 hours, but I can't see the screen. So when you're on the bus, and are the bus going to have a screen where people who are sitting on the bus read the screen, what stop is coming up?
There is a stop announcement system that is now installed on the bus that includes an LED screen that scrolls and lists the upcoming bus stops.
It's going to be the same thing on your app phone?
That's the same system that basically does the announcements on the inside of the bus.
Okay, because yesterday it didn't work at all.
Not changing.
Okay, because yesterday no bus announcement was working. We almost got lost. But thank you.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for your questions, Dora. And so this is just a continuation of the presentation, but it's essentially photos that are showing the before condition of South Virginia Street in the Midtown area and the after condition of what the improvements currently look like with we have some street trees and wider sidewalks that are accessible and just easier accessibility within the South Virginia Midtown segment of the project. Jim, do you want to advance? And then again, more photos, and one of these photos is Amy Cummings' favorite photo of the immensely skinny sidewalks that were very prevalent in the Midtown area, being only about 18 inches wide in many places, and then having a light pole in the middle of it, to now being a minimum of 4 feet wide everywhere, and in some areas it's 7 to 10 feet wide and up to 20 feet wide in actually isolated locations. So it's just a much more accessible and pedestrian friendly corridor.
So Jeff, thank you. I see on the chat that Paul has a question for you.
Sure.
Go ahead, Paul.
Hi, Jeff. I'm Paul Malakowski, longtime CMAC member. Thanks for the presentation and, more importantly, the work that's going on for the Virginia Street corridor. Really appreciate it. I will tell you that from my perspective, I have been a University Station USPS postal customer since 1989. I used to have an office building up on the south edge of campus, and I've just never changed my PO box. And now the University Postal Station is up at about 17th Street, I'll say quite a distance beyond where you're planning to terminate, and I imagine turn around the newly constructed roundabout, this Virginia Street Express service. My observation over a long period of years is that a lot of students utilize that postal facility, not just for picking up mail and things that have to go snail mail, but to send and receive important packages, to get certified mail and other proof of delivery services and that sort of thing. So not just speaking for myself, but for whatever portion of the university community that uses that postal facility frequently, I'm wondering how difficult it would be to run the RTC Virginia Street service past Waller, where you do have the roundabout, and I recognize that there's an investment that's been made on that, and getting the service up a couple blocks. It's probably what, a quarter mile. So I don't have it measured, but it's something that if I were a student at Waller, I would not relish walking to up the hill that in that direction. At least it'd be downhill, of course, on the way back. What engineering issues would you foresee, or contract issues would you foresee precluding an extension of this up to 17th Street and that postal facility? There seems to be parking around there where, assuming you got university approval, you could turn a bus around. And, that would be, I think, accessing a lot more of the north end of campus as well. So those are my questions, and I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, sure. So, I don't have an exact response for the rapid service extending up that far. We did look at kind of lots of different scenarios, and I do know that the university operates a shuttle service during normal, it's operating now with campus, active with students and whatnot. So I do know that their shuttle goes up that far and turns around and goes by the medicals facility and then down south. And so our project has a couple of unique elements in the UNR segment of the project. The first one is really far south between 8th Street and 9th Street. It's going to be a multimodal hub where our rapid bus is going to stop, and the university shuttle is going to stop, and the Route 7 is going to be stopping. So that's going to be kind of a interim area that has all those stops at the same location for a person who is on one to get on the other. In addition, the Route 7 continues further north of that roundabout, and I believe it has a stop somewhere near 17th Street. It might be at 16th Street, but Michael DeLude probably is on this call and he could answer that more specifically. And so that would provide access up that far. As far as the rapid service providing a stop up that far, I don't see that as the biggest engineering challenge. Is the purpose of the rapid service is to be a fast, reliable service that mimics more of a light rail type scenario where there's lots of the stops are further spaced apart. The purpose is for people to be able to get on and off quickly. The bus is more so moving rather than stopped, loading passengers. And so for all of our stops for the rapid service, we always try to have these larger structures that provide that level boarding, that provide that kind of space for people to quickly get on and off. And so in the current design, we don't have a station that far. We didn't plan to have a station that far. And so, and that's based on a couple different things, but primarily, where the hubs of people are entering and exiting. I understand the post office is a popular spot to go, but I think the bulk of the majority of the people that are going to be riding this from the university and to the university are going to be going to the knowledge center and the library there, and the student union and Lawler Event Center. And so these are areas that are going to provide potentially a bigger benefit to those areas rather than having to stop further north. And I don't think that's necessarily the right or wrong answer, but that's just an observation that I personally have. So I don't know, Michael, do you have any information on the stop frequency of Route 7?
Yeah, the Route 7 operates every half hour. There is a stop at 17th Street. This is Michael Dulude, Senior Technical Transit Operations Planner for the RTC. So that there is a stop there at 17th for Route 7. The issue with taking the Virginia line rapid further north is having an opportunity to turn the bus around quickly to head it in the southbound direction. So it would require another roundabout or other type of facility built further north to be able to handle that. Eventually, over time, I would suspect that as the Virginia Street corridor grows further north, we would be extending the rapid further north as well.
So I hope that answers your question. If you have
my questions, I appreciate the input, gentlemen. Just doing a little citizen lobbying here as well. And I liked what was just said about as the further north areas of Virginia Street develop. And I think that's inevitable the way the growth of the university is headed. We may see some changes in the rapid RTC Virginia line that is just by demand that we don't see yet. So thanks a lot anyway. That's my question, and it's been answered.
This is Vince Harris. I see that we have a question from Rudy.
Yes, thanks, Vince. This is, well, I'll ask the abstract question because I think the concrete one is off topic. What is the communication between the university and RTC regarding things like this bus line, and what is RTC's ability to do a rapid change?
I'm sorry, I had a kid yelling in the background. What was your question?
So the context for this is that Whitney Peak is now a dorm, and the university is not responsible for it. So the shuttle buses that were running from Circus to campus are no longer part of that agreement. So we have, a ton of students living on Virginia Street who would obviously be taking a bus. And I don't know what the communication is between UNR and RTC, or what RTC's ability is to make rapid short-term changes to service to accommodate something like all of a sudden there's an entire dorm's worth of students living 10 blocks south of campus that were not anticipated to be living there.
Yeah, sure. And so I think Jim can probably comment on this as well, but I do know that, back when the Taj Mahal and Nye Hall kind of had their incident, a lot of work was done to provide, ADA improvements between Wolfpack Tower down by the Circus and the university. And so similar, unfortunately RTC and this specific project is not able to move that quickly. I think there's other opportunities that RTC implemented associated with the, I think they called it the Midtown Direct, which is, or Midtown UNR Direct, which is essentially a service that somewhat replaced the Sierra Spirit, which kind of accomplished what you're referring to, of a service that's a kind of a downtown collector. And Jim, maybe you can provide a better comment.
Yeah, the other significant thing we've done, and this is really important, is late last year we put in a UPass agreement where students can display or use their student ID to essentially ride for free on any RTC bus. So we were on campus promoting that directly to students before COVID hit, and are prepared to do so again. But essentially, as a UNR student and also a TMCC student, I can show my student ID, be able to use the bus, and have opportunities thus all around the community, and have free bus service.
Thank you.
Let me continue on the presentation if I could. Jeff, thank you. And kudos to Jeff, not only for helping me out tonight with the presentation, but Jeff has been the lead from RTC on this project. It's amazing the number of little details that have to be thought through, and Jeff's been on top of all of them. So kudos to you, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Thank you. So as I mentioned, what we are proposing to do is take our Virginia line, which currently operates between 4th Street Station and downtown Reno, and Meadowwood Mall in the south end, and extend that route northwood to the UNR campus to just north of the Lawler Event Center. The frequency on the route is currently every 10 minutes during the week, every 12 minutes on the weekends. That frequency will not change. The one little thing that is different about this extension is with our service as it is today, nearly every route stops at 4th Street Station and it sits, it dwells there, and there's a little bit of a layover time. What we are proposing to do with the Virginia line is actually not have that bus sit at 4th Street, but instead have it travel through 4th Street, still pick up and drop off passengers, but instead of laying over there, it will lay over at either end of the route. What that means is for a student, for example, they could catch the bus at UNR, not have to sit at a 4th Street station while they're wanting to go to Midtown or to Meadowwood Mall, but instead the bus will travel directly on through. Associated with the extension of the Virginia line is the discontinuation of that temporary route that was mentioned earlier. That's the UNR Midtown direct route. That was a route that was put in a little over a year ago to act as a mechanism for students to get from campus to downtown and to Midtown. That was a route that went every 30 minutes on weekdays and evenings. And what we were proposing to do is remove that temporary route and essentially replace that every 30-minute route with a 10-minute route, which is the Virginia line. And then finally, with every schedule change, we always have miscellaneous time adjustments. We look at our data collection, look at our on-time performance, our average dwell time, our ridership, adjust the schedules accordingly to improve that on-time performance. And there will be some miscellaneous time adjustments built into the schedules as we do every assignment. In terms of public outreach, obviously with COVID-19, it's been an issue, but we did develop a virtual presentation. We have a YouTube video that Michael DeLude is the star of. Also promoted this on social media, and have developed a hotline specifically for route changes where people can call us directly and talk specifically about route changes. And with that, that ends my presentation. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Michael. And I'd be happy to field any questions that you may have about the proposed changes and additionally about the project. Thank you.
This is Vince Harris. To the committee, are there any additional questions for the presenters?
Hi, my name is Margaret Getz, and I'm not sure if this is a time for general comments. Is that okay?
Do you have a question?
Yes, well, I have two comments. First one is I used to work at Midtown near the corner of Haskell and Taylor Street, and I just want to commend the whole operation. I know there's various departments, but whatever you guys did and helped to fix up that whole Virginia Street area I commend you. The place is gorgeous now. And of course, it's effective for all ADA access, which we must have. And it really needed to take that whole Midtown area out of the Stone Ages and bring us into the future. So I commend you and thank you so much for all your hard work. And then my second comment would be, or going forward, as far as bike lanes go, I've been riding a lot now that I obviously have some time, but what can we do to get more bicycle lanes in our streets? And is it just my common sense thinking that whenever a street is retrofitted or redone or whatever the correct terminology is here, are we always considering putting in a bike lane? Thank you.
Just a question of decorum. I don't think we can have public questions or comments before or after individual presentations, and they're only allowed during the public comment section, I believe.
I believe you're correct.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I missed it. I'll listen. Thank you.
Well, if there are no more questions, we do thank the presenters
Vince,
again
sorry.
this evening for the work
It's me, Dora. Can you guys hear me? I was looking for my mute button.
you've been doing, and we
apologize.
appreciate you coming to our meeting this evening. Can I get a motion to
I
accept?
think Dora still has something to say.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry. This is Dora Uel. Quick question to Jeff, because you said that if a student wants to go to Midtown, they don't have to stop at the 4th Street station on the new rapid route. But are they able to, request to stop to get off there and then, I don't know, maybe catch a route 2 or 11 or Lincoln Line to go to Sparks? Is that still an option?
Sure. This is
Okay,
Jim.
thank you.
Yeah, let me clarify. The route will go through 4th Street Station. It will stop at 4th Street Station. It just won't sit there and wait while the driver has a break or have a layover, which is how the other routes are designed. 4th Street Station will essentially be treated almost like any other bus stop, where the bus will stop, people get on, people get off, and then the bus starts rolling again.
I appreciate that, Jim. Thank you. I'm sorry. I feel like maybe it says on the PowerPoint, but like as I said, I can't see it. So I appreciate that. Thank you. This
No
is
problem.
Dora. Thank you.
Okay, I think that, again, thank you to the presenters for coming and sharing this information with us this evening. I'd like to get a motion to acknowledge receipt of the report. Can someone give a motion for that, please?
This is Suraj Verma. I'll move to acknowledge receipt of the report on the proposed January 2021 RTC ride service change.
Moved by Maj. Can I get a second?
This is Dora Uel. I second.
Dora seconds. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The item carries. Thank you again. Moving on
Thank
to
you.
item-
Thank you guys for your time.
Yes, thank you for coming. Moving on to item number 5, acknowledge receipt of a report regarding the update of the 2015 Coordinated Human Services Public Transportation Plan. This is for possible action. Dan, do we have a report from staff?
Yeah, this time I will hand it over to Jennifer Myers.
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone. This is Jennifer Myers, and I am the Transit Contract Administrator at RTC. As required by the Federal Transit Administration, RTC is in the process of updating its Coordinated Human Services Transportation Plan, developed to improve mobility for seniors and individuals with disabilities. Last month, we engaged you in that development process. This evening, Mr. A.T. Stoddard is on the call or the meeting with, and he is with LSC Transportation, and he is here to update you on the plan and to provide you with some preliminary survey results. A.T., welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, Jennifer. This is A.T. Stoddard with LSC Transportation Consultants, and this will be a brief update, primarily. Have turned in terms of our survey effort and give you just some preliminary results of that So I do have a couple of slides with information to share with you. So we did a short questionnaire, as Jennifer said. We talked to you about that at your last meeting. It was distributed through outreach to a number of agencies and stakeholders. The survey questionnaire itself, along with a short video and other information, was posted on the RTC website. It was available both in an online format and a printable format. We closed it out yesterday. We had 156 responses in English. We did have a Spanish version. We had one response in Spanish. So as I said, we just closed it. So we don't have a lot of detailed analysis yet, but just some of the things that we did see from the responses. So I've got several graphs here. The first one is the question about whether people had regular access to a personal vehicle that they could drive. And when you look at this, it was about 1/3 that said yes, 2/3 no. 65% indicated they did not have regular access to a vehicle. So that clearly indicates a dependence on other sources of transportation. The next question, we just asked for some information about the individuals who were responding, and we had several categories, and you can see people were allowed to respond to more than one, but we had out of this 59% indicated they had some type of disability. Then we had 35% who indicated they were a senior citizen. Only 3% veterans responded, and then we had 3% who indicated all categories. So we'll be breaking down some of the responses by those groups as well. As I said, we haven't got to that yet, but we'll be digging into this, and it will be in the plan documentation. The next graph, I think, is also significant. This is the question of whether a person ever needs a ride and does not have one, indicating they weren't available to get to something. The next question was, what are they not able to travel to for whatever purpose they had? But almost 50%, 48% said yes, they have needed a ride and not had one. The other said no, that was not an issue. So nearly half the respondents indicated that they have at one time or more needed transportation and did not have a ride available. And what that means in terms of quality of life, I think, is when you start to look at what are those things that people are trying to go to, what are they unable to get a ride to. The largest response, just at 33%, was to be able to go shopping. Close behind that at 32% was being able to go to or from a medical appointment. Then we had lower responses, the going to and from work at about 13%, 5% indicated it was going to or from school. We had a significant portion, 17%, that indicated other. We asked them to specify what those were. Again, I haven't had a chance to break those down and see are there common responses among those. But again, I think pretty significant that a third were not able to get some, was to get shopping, but then almost another third going to or from a medical appointment. The last slide I have, and again, this is not everything we got, but a quick update and give you an indication of who's been responding to the questionnaire. This shows household income. Again, I think pretty significant. We've got low income households responding, about 34% with household incomes of less than $15,000 a year. The next category, 15 to 25,000, at about 22%, and then 20% in the range of 25 to just 50,000, basically. So just over 3/4 are in households with incomes under 50,000, but well over half, 56%, in households with incomes under 25,000. So that's the update. We are, as I said, in the process of completing our analysis of this, and we will working on what that means in terms of needs, along with some of the other sources of information we have for transportation needs, analysis of the demographics in the community, and working to put that together along with various strategies to address the various unmet needs. So that is the presentation. As I said, a quick update for you. I anticipate next time we come, we'll try to get on your agenda and have more information and what we're looking at in terms of some preliminary recommendations. So thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this.
This is Vince Harris.
For you in more detail.
To the committee, do we have any questions for the presenter? Okay, well, hearing none, we just want to thank you for the presentation this evening and coming to talk to us. Appreciate the update.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening.
You're welcome. This item is for possible action. Can I get a motion to acknowledge receipt of this report? Item number 5.
This is Jillian Keller. I move to acknowledge receipt of the report.
Thank you, Julian. Can I get a second?
This is Sig Yanerice. I will second the motion.
Okay, thank you so much for the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the item passes. Thank you. Moving on to item number 6. These are member announcements or agenda items for future CMAC meetings. To the members, do we have any announcements that anyone would like to make going around the room? Anyone? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 7, RTC ride access staff items. Any items from RTC ride or access staff this evening? Dan?
I do not. I will defer to my RTC colleagues if they have anything to add.
I do not.
All right, thank you. Is there any other public comment, Dan, for this evening?
I have not received any other public comment. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank the committee once again for coming out, well, at least sharing virtually with us this evening. I would accept a motion to adjourn.
This is Sig Yanerice. I move to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you for that. Can I get a second, please?
Dora Uel, I second the motion to adjourn
That has been
September 2nd.
Thank you, Dora. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned at 6:23.
Thank you, everyone.
See you next month.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you.
Night. Ah.